Hi, my name's Dan Keane. I'm a composer, producer and musician based in London. It's been a little while since I sat down to chat with you, the audience, one to all, about various ideas that I think about from time to time. And while I've got a review coming out later this week for that postcard piano that I previewed a few days ago, I thought it would be nice just to sit and air some ideas that I've got. I actually ended up watching a video of mine the other day. I was just clearing out a couple of hard drives and I saw my announcement for the DK Isolation collaboration, and it really caught me off guard when I heard myself say, I've just crossed 650 subscribers, and it just made me think, God, I didn't have any expectations for what this channel was going to be when I first started it, but to have 10 times more of you here watching now is just insane. We've just crossed over 6,500, which is unbelievable. Anyway, I had a bit of a salty exchange recently with a narcissist who gave me a lot to think about after I blocked him. Really, it wasn't the way he said it, although there definitely was a bit of a kind of passive-aggressive tone to his voice. It was more what he said, and unfortunately, it confirmed a fear in me that I have of people and the relationship they have with their peers. To paint this story in as broad a brushstroke as I possibly can, this guy basically wanted me to write a piece of music that he could use to pitch to some really well-known composers in an effort for us both to get some kind of career ladder kind of projections by doing some assisting work. And I had a couple of issues with this, the main one being that he wanted to put his name on work that wasn't really his. But the other thing was, as someone who's a little bit further in their development, I just felt that he needed to refine some of his skills a little bit before approaching these, as I say, really quite well-known composers. And, if you've only got one chance, you don't want to blow it before you've done the groundwork. Now, his rebuttal was long, but the main thing that really got me was that he thought I was attempting to, quote, demotivate my competition. We are not in competition. Now, as someone who likes to make sample instruments from time to time, you might have noticed that I give quite a lot of airtime to other sample library developers. And you might think that this is a bit of a conflict of interest, that I'm somewhat kind of diluting my Dan Keane music brand a little bit by showing all these seemingly unrelated subjects, that the spectrum of what I want to talk about becomes so wide that there's actually very little kind of perceived direction at all, a bit like a stereo widening plugin that actually gets a bit phasey around 150%. When I talk about things on this channel, surely I should be peddling the DK Music brand as much as possible, that each video should be another reason for you to hire me over someone else. Similarly, if I want to become the world's most successful composer, surely I should spend all hours of the day in my studio perfecting my craft and waste as little time as possible talking into a camera about how I'm developing those skills. Perhaps that's something that I should keep close to my chest and out of view. But somehow, by sharing ideas with people, by using this platform for educational content, by showing off ideas, by creating sample libraries, I've been able to nurture a community of like-minded people by holding that door open, not kind of closing it and locking it. To refer to each other as competition, I think, is a bit of a slippery position. And personally, what got me about this guy's framing was that a seemingly mutually beneficial kind of collaboration had a slight ulterior motive underneath it. I have to say, by being more open, you're more likely to encourage people to do the same thing. And, I've definitely had genuinely collaborative opportunities as a result of this YouTube thing. On that note, I've just started at Spitfire Audio as one of their composers, and that's not going to stop me from writing, using other libraries occasionally, and talking about plugins and developers that I'm interested in, but it gives me an opportunity to share products that I'm genuinely excited about, products that I'll have had for a little bit longer than consumers and can tell you when something's really good or tell you about tools that I think are exciting. I think it's easy to get sidetracked by cutthroat business practices when you yourself are a business. I'm marketing myself as Dan Keane Music, composer, producer, and musician. And of course, I want to get paid for opportunities. I want to get things that are going to enable me to flourish in my own interests. But that doesn't mean that everyone around me is an enemy. And to be honest, I've never really considered anyone to be competition as such. When I was on my composition for screen course at the Royal College of Music, I had 9 classmates. And every now and again, we'd go on these meet and greets to London Film School, Central St Martin's, Goldsmiths, etc. Basically to meet directors and hear about their upcoming films. And we would have to pitch to these directors for films that we either liked or directors we liked. And at times when we were pitching in this process, there'd be only one composer selected, so we would be directly in competition with our classmates. Even though only one person would be selected and ultimately a few people would be turned down, we didn't resent each other as a result of this pitching process. We were all friends. We all understood that the best composer for the job would get it because they were the best fit for the job. I think the fear that some people have is that there just isn't enough room for everybody, and that if you hold a door open, you might lose an opportunity that would have come your way had you kept your head low and focused the whole time. And had you felt less inclined to support your community, you might become the world's most successful composer. But you might also gain a reputation that befalls you as the narcissist that you inevitably wanted to avoid becoming. And the funny thing is, in my fairly limited experience of industry professionals, and definitely proved by the people I work with at the moment, it just doesn't have to be that way at all. You can be really successful and be a really nice person. And chances are your career is going to have more longevity if you don't build up this sour, salty reputation for being a slightly more closed-minded, shut the door and lock it kind of person. In addition to that, I think it's just nice to seek friends and camaraderie in people who are like-minded in a community. And by creating these opportunities, by finding Piano Book or other various sites and things like that, you do just build up a bit more of a sense of a village beyond your village. Thank you for watching until the end. It's been nice to get this off my chest. I would be curious to hear what you think via the comments down below. Do you agree with me, or do you think we are slightly more in competition with each other? I'm sure there are various things that I might have missed out, and would be curious to hear your thoughts. Anyway, stay safe, stay well, and I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.